May 14, 1974. A nondescript military transport plane lifts off from a clandestine runway deep in the Thai jungle. It carries no insignias, no identification numbers, and no flight plan. Its cargo? A prototype device that, according to the official archives of the United States government, simply does not exist. For decades, researchers, historians, and whistleblowers have scoured the deepest vaults of the Central Intelligence Agency, searching for a single mention of this operation. They found nothing but gaps, calculated redactions, and folders that were conveniently missing. This is not just another conspiracy theory. This is the chronicle of a catastrophic failure, a mission erased from the annals of history, and the absolute silence that followed. To understand why this mission was buried, we have to travel back to the height of the Cold War. By 1974, the Vietnam War was spiraling toward its end, but in the shadows, the CIA was fighting a different kind of conflict. Laos, Cambodia, and the northern reaches of Vietnam formed a triangular cage where the laws of conventional warfare didn't apply. The agency relied heavily on Air America, its own private airline of ghosts, to transport everything from refugees to experimental weaponry. But in the spring of '74, a unique order came down, a recovery mission. A top-secret American reconnaissance plane had gone down deep within prohibited Laotian territory. On board was a revolutionary long-range cryptographic module, a piece of technology capable of cracking Soviet communications in real time. The risk of this technology falling into enemy hands was too high, but admitting the plane was there at all was a political death sentence. The team sent to retrieve it was as phantom as the cargo. They were contractors, men without official records, without fingerprints on file, and, most importantly, without an insurance policy. Led by a field officer whose only known moniker was Ghost, the mission was supposed to be a surgical strike: infiltrate, secure the module, incinerate the wreckage, and vanish. But when they arrived at the coordinates, the scene was fundamentally wrong. The plane sat in the middle of a clearing, eerily intact. Yet, there were no bodies, no debris, and even more unsettling, no ambient sound. The jungle, usually teeming with the chaotic life of the tropics, was dead silent. There were no insects, no birds, nothing. It was as if the forest itself had been sanitized. As the team moved in, the mission shifted from a standard recovery into something far more sinister. The lead communications specialist began monitoring a frequency that hadn't been on the briefing packet. Through the crackling static of his headset, he didn't hear the tactical reports of the North Vietnamese or the path at Lao. He heard a repeating sequence in an unknown code, a rhythm that defied military standards. Then, the transmission cleared, and a single, human voice whispered a phrase that would eventually appear in the few leaked fragments of this story. The cost is not the silence. The cost is the memory. In that moment, the trap snapped shut. The team realized they hadn't been sent to recover a lost piece of technology. They had been sent as bait. The module was a beacon, a lure designed to see who, or what, was scavenging the wreckage of American secrets in the heart of the jungle. They had found their answer, but the price of discovery was their own liquidation. The agency couldn't risk the survivors returning to tell the truth. Amidst the chaos of the Watergate scandal and the crumbling morale of the post-Vietnam era, the CIA needed clean slates. They didn't just abandon the mission. They systematically scrubbed every mention of the agents from the payroll, every flight log from the archives, and every radio transmission from the digital record. Why go to such lengths? Why bury a mission that would have been, at worst, an embarrassing bureaucratic blunder? Because the implications went beyond geopolitics. The few fragmented tapes that surfaced in Bangkok years later hinted at something more. Descriptions of lights in the sky, of machinery that defied the laws of physics, and of a silence that felt heavy, almost suffocating. The CIA didn't just want to hide a failed mission. They wanted to suppress the realization that some things on that battlefield were not of this world, or at the very least, far beyond the understanding of 1970s intelligence. Today, we are left with nothing but the shadows. We have the redacted documents, the gaps in the timeline, and the rumors that persist in the dark corners of veteran communities. Some missions are never acknowledged because they were failures. Others are buried because they represent truths that the architects of our reality are not yet ready for us to know. The files may be gone, and the men who walked into that jungle may have been erased from the history books. But the truth has a way of leaking out through the cracks of the system. We are left to wonder, how many other ghosts are still out there, wandering the forbidden zones of our past, waiting for someone to finally tell their story?